To set and adjust your entrance sensor, a lot of times a little bit of an angle works best. Narrow boards, you probably have to have a little more straight, but have a little slight angle on it. Bring your board over the top of the sensor and you'll see both lights flash like this. To auto set the gain, you press and hold just the button here and you'll see it flash. And that'll set the gain. Move your board, make sure the lights go out. Board back over, lights come on. That's your entrance sensor is set. So now we're going to set some main features on the in and near position sensor. So this is your in position and this is your near position sensor. So what we want to do is we're going to check to see if the sensors are in the right mode. You want to press and hold both the blue and yellow buttons at the same time. It'll flash down, and you want to make sure 4 is set. If 4 isn't set, you press the blue button down until it's flashing, and then you press the up button to set it, and that'll put it in auto track mode. If you go in here, and once you get done with that, it'll clear it out, so you got to press both buttons again to go back in to the option status menu. If nothing's selected, or if you have a different number selected, you got to go down there and get that selected number flashing, and then press up to clear it. You only want the auto track mode, which is setting 4, and you want to make sure both sensors are reading the same feature. And both of them have auto track mode level 4. So now we know the sensor heads have the right configuration. We'll go ahead and slide a board underneath the near position sensor, and then to auto set the gain on this board, we're going to press the yellow button and hold it, and it'll flicker. So a few lights will flash, and then it'll come up. And just slide the board out of the way, make sure that it goes out. Put the board back underneath. You need at least a 4 or a 5 on the gain meter to get your output light. Just to give you a rundown, if you actually press and hold the blue button and set that, what will happen is with the board in place, you won't get an output status. So if you pull the board out of the way, then the output light goes on. This is the sensor working in reverse mode. So you just put the board back in place, press and hold the yellow button, it'll set the gain. So you have output status, it's up on lock 5. Same thing for the in position. Press and hold the yellow button, goes up to lock, hold the board out of the way, verify they go in and out. So sometimes you'll get some blue, black boards, some matte finishes where you just don't get a good auto gain feature. So sometimes you might have to press the yellow button up a couple points, a couple clicks to get the gain up a little bit, or repeatedly push the blue button down a little bit to bring the gain down. And the idea is you need to at least be able to get into a 4 or a 5 on your meter so that you get your output status when the board's in place, but the lights go out when the board's out of place. And then you set your exit sensor exactly the same as the entrance sensor. Over here we'll put the board over the top of the sensor, press and hold the set button to set gain, and then it flashes and we verify that it goes on and off with the board in place. Like I said, a little bit of an angle works really well, and when you start getting into some narrow boards, you need to flatten it out a little bit, which really doesn't affect much. Just make sure that it goes on and off. And one of the rules of thumb to think about is anytime you run a new project, new recipe, just put your board in and verify it. So one thing we'll do is we'll put our board over our entrance sensor, and we will load the board. And it should slow down when it hits our first sensor, and then as long as the in position sensor sees it, it should go out, and then we hit unload, and it should stop on the exit sensor. And I can rewind it all the way back. Try it a couple times just to make sure all the sensors do exactly as they're supposed to. Load. Unload. Just like that.